What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to another Yu-Gi-Oh! OCG TCG video. Today, guys, we are going to be going over some pretty exciting news in regards to the printing of the Kuriboh brothers. That's right, we are going to be getting the four brothers of Kuriboh in the upcoming Animation Chronicles 2021, as well as Babylon, which was the monster with all five Kari brothers combining into one to create that monster, and the spell card that's going to be released in this set as well to support the Kuriboh brothers. I am very excited to be going over these cards with you guys. I never thought we would actually get the Kuriboh brothers actually printed in the OCG and TCG, as they appeared in anime so long ago, all the way back in the original Duel Monster days. So it's really cool that we actually are finally getting the other four brothers of Kuriboh. So I hope you guys enjoy, and without further ado, guys, let's get right into it. So as per usual, we're going to be going over the monsters first and then the spell card, because that's normally how we do it with these card game related videos. And the first Kuriboh brother that we're going to be going over is Kariba, a level 1 Dark Fiend effect monster with 300 attack and 200 defense. And this card is also always treated as a Kuriboh card, which, let me just start by saying this: every Kuriboh brother has this effect in the same stat line of a level 1 Dark Fiend effect monster. They all have that. When we get into the other Kuriboh monsters, we're just going to go straight into the effects. We're not going to read this top part because it's going to be the exact same. I just want to kind of point that out there when we go over these cards. So the effect of Kariba is you can only use this card's name first effect once per turn. The first effect is when this card or a Kuriboh monster you control is destroyed by battle, you can special summon one monster with 300 attack and 200 defense from your deck, except Kariba. So you can get one of the Kuriboh monsters, whether that be any of the brothers, Kuriboh, Wing Kuriboh. I think the other Kuribohs Kuribohs like Rainbow Kuriboh, Kuribolt, I think all have that 300 attack point, 200 defense point stat line. So basically, it doesn't just specifically go towards the Kuriboh monsters or the Kuriboh brothers. It can be any Kuriboh. And then its second effect is you contribute this card you control plus 4 monsters from your hand and or field, one each of Kribi, Kribu, Kribe, and Kuriboh. Special summon one Babylon from your hand, deck, or graveyard. So this is basically the card that basically tutors all the Kuribohs together to make Babylon. So that's basically the card that gets Babylon, which we'll go over that card and see if it's really worth it. But overall, very interesting card, being able to search your Kuriboh monsters, and it does special summon it. I wish you could either choose the special summoner or add it to your hand, because with Kuriboh monsters, they have effects in the hand as well. Like, I think of the original Kuriboh, that actually has an effect from the hand, so that would work as well. But you also got cards like Wing Kuriboh. When it's on the field, it negates battle damage, so I guess there's a benefit too. I just wish it let you get the choice between the two, but I think special summoning it is not a bad thing at all. I think it's fun to special summon it to the field, which if you get one of the other brothers out into the field and then you get this card back and you have the other ones on the field, which maybe you just were trying to get the last one and then you can get this card back from the graveyard, you can go into Babylon. So pretty interesting there as well. But we'll obviously see if Babylon is any good. But let's go into the next Kuriboh brother, shall we? Up next in line, we have Karibi. Its effect is you can only use this card's name's first effect once per turn. When this card or your Kuriboh monster is destroyed by battle, you can add one spell or trap that specifically lists the card Kuriboh and its text from your deck to your hand. So basically, you can search some of the Kuriboh spell cards. The new one that we're going to be going over, the Flute of Summoning Kuribohs, is another one that I can think of, and any cards that just have the Kuriboh name in it. So very interesting there. And then once per turn, when an opponent's monster declares an attack, if you control another Kuriboh monster, you can change the attack of all other face-up monsters you currently control to 0 until the end of this turn. If you do, negate the attack. So basically, you make your monster's current attack become 0 to basically negate an attack. So That's a pretty interesting effect there. I mean, that I think that effect is fine. I mean, it's not the strongest effect, but being able to negate an attack, it's not really that bad in my opinion. So, pretty interesting card there. But let's go into the next one, shall we? The next brother on this list is Kuriboh, excuse me. Which, let me just say this, I love the original Kuriboh. I love it so much, but after looking at the design of this card, I think this is becoming my favorite Kuriboh brother. I really do believe it. Out of like the 5 Kuribohs, this one is my favorite. I mean, look at it. It looks so adorable. I mean, to be fair, Kuriboh's an adorable little fluff ball. We all know that. But I don't know. This one, I just really like the design of it. Plus, I like the white and green on it. I think it looks pretty cool. But Kuriboh, its first effect, which actually it doesn't have a hard once per turn on it, so that's pretty interesting. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can discard this card, add 1 Kuriboh monster from your deck to your hand, except Kuriboh. This is where I was mentioning earlier about having a Kuriboh, or getting a Kuriboh to your hand to be able to activate its effect since it's activated from the hand, or something like a Sphere Kuriboh. That's what this card can do. It can search a Kuriboh monster, add it to your hand, and depending on what the Kuriboh monster you get to your hand, you can activate its effect to basically whatever you do. You can disrupt your opponent. Like, say for example, Sphere Kuriboh, when you send that card to the graveyard, you're able to target the attacking monster and switch it to defense position. I mean, it's a very viable card in the Duel Links from what I know, so pretty interesting effect there. And its second effect is a once per turn, soft once per turn by the way, quick effect. You can discard 1 trap, then target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls. It loses 1500 attack until the end of this turn. Interesting effect. You're going to have to play traps in a deck like this to use this effect, which, looking at today's game, not really, unless you're playing casual, maybe. I don't really see you playing trap cards. I mean, trap cards have been a little bit more prevalent. I know some people will play like Phantom Knight's Fogblade. That's a really good card, and like some decks will play trap cards, but not really that often are you going to see trap cards played in a deck. So unless you just have a dead trap card, you can just discard that and make an opponent's monster lose 1500 attack points. So if you're having trouble getting over a monster, you can basically discard a trap and be able to lower a monster's attack by 1500. So like, say for example, a monster with 3000 attack points, Blue Eyes White Dragon will just do that just to kind of fit with the dual monsters theme. Brings it down to 1500 attack, and anything with 1600 or more can just wail over it. So, pretty interesting. I think it's not that bad of an effect. But, yeah, on to the last Kuriboh brother. And that Kuriboh is Kuriboh. I don't know how you're supposed to say it. I don't know if it's supposed to be like an I sound, because I think these Kuribohs are supposed to be like the A-I-E-O-U kind of sound with the names. Like Kuriboh is kind of like the O sound in it, Kariba, the A sound for A. So I think this is supposed to be F or the I sound, or maybe it's E. Creepy. No, creepy would be E, and then this would be I think. I don't know. It's weird. First effect. Another case of it not being a once per turn. Interesting. Quick effect. You can discard this card and target 1 Kuriboh monster you control. It gains 1500 attack. Okay, basically it does the other effect of, or the opposite effect of what the last monster, Kuriboh, does. It lowers an opponent's monster by 1500 attack, while this targets a Kariba monster and makes it gain 1500 attack. I wish it was a little bit diverse with more monsters, but hey, that gives a monster up to 1800 attack points. And if you use Kuriboh's effect, like the example we have, a Kuriboh can beat over a Blue Eyes White Dragon, which actually saying that in succession actually sounds hilarious. A Kuriboh beating Blue Eyes White Dragon. Kaiba says it's the weakest card, but technically, with this strategy, Kuriboh, the weakest card, can beat Blue Eyes White Dragon with that scenario. So that's kind of hilarious when you think about it in that perspective. And its second effect is you contribute this card you control plus 4 monsters from your hand and or field, 1 each of Kariba, Kuribi, Kuriboh, and Kuriboh. Add 1 Kari Bandit from your deck or graveyard to your hand. Then immediately after this effect resolves, you can normal summon 1 Fiend monster from your hand, basically summoning the Kari Bandit. Okay, so the Kariba monster that we went over earlier gets you the Kari Babylon. However, this card actually goes into Kari Bandit, which is very, very interesting. So basically, you have a different Kuriboh monster you summon in, with Kariba being for Babylon and this one being for Bandit. Very, very interesting, actually. I think this effect, the Kree Bandit was kind of different in the anime, so I think this is where that effect is similar from. So basically, you're searching a Kree Bandit, which Kree Bandit is fine. I mean, it's not really the strongest card from what I remember of the cards, so maybe you're not going to really go into it much often, but hey, that's an option that you can go into. If you don't want to go into Kree Babylon, you can get easily Kree Bandit and go into that card, I guess. So that's pretty interesting. But speaking of Kree Babylon, let's get into it, shall we? And here it is, Kree Babylon. It is a level 5 Dark Fiend effect monster with 1500 attack and 1000 defense. Actually, with now Kriba's effect, you can actually summon this card if it's in your hand. So, I guess with Kriba, you can get Bandit to your hand, and then you can either choose to summon Bandit or Babylon. So that's actually very interesting as well. I didn't even realize it was a Fiend effect monster. This is why sometimes it's good to look earlier ahead. I normally go blind when it goes into this, so yeah, I apologize for not realizing that's a Fiend, which I feel like that's kind of dumb for me because every single one of these is a Fiend, like geez. But anyway, you can only use either this card's name's first or third effect per turn and only once that turn. Its first effect is if you have more monsters in your graveyard than your opponent does, you can special summon this card from your hand. Okay, so you don't have to use the 5 Kuriboh brothers to summon this card with Baz or Bez effect. You can just do it if you have more cards in your graveyard. So it gives you an incentive to actually put cards in your graveyard to get this card to the field. Interesting. Its second effect is gains 300 attack and defense for each Kuriboh monster you control and in your graveyard. So if you play the 5 Kuriboh monsters in your deck, that gives the monster 1500 attack points, which would raise it up to 3000 attack points, which can go toe to toe with Blue Eyes White Dragon. Man, I'm just going after Blue Eyes White Dragon this episode. I'm just realizing, hey, it fits, you know. Again, Kaiba said Karibohs are the weakest, so we're gonna put his Blue Eyes Dragon, the ultimate dragon, to the test against these Kuribohs. Why not? And its third effect is during your main or battle phase, quick effect, you can return this card to the hand, and if you do, special summon one Kariba, Karibi, Karibu, one Karibe, and one Kuriboh from your hand and or graveyard in attack position. So basically you can just get all the 5 Kuriboh brothers onto the field, which is pretty interesting. If you are able to dump all the Kuriboh monsters into your graveyard, summon this card if you have more cards in the graveyard, then get rid of this card, summon the 5 monsters. Funny enough, you could go into a Link 5 or any Link plays with this, because it doesn't restrict you for that. Or I guess you can play Xyz plays too, I guess, because maybe you can do, and I know this is going to sound very weird, but basically something you can do is go into like the Kuriboh brothers, since they're level 1, Xyz something, and let me kind of explain where I'm going with this. Summon Baby Chiragan. Yes, we're talking about Baby Chiragan for a second. Summon 2 of those things, overlay them since they have the same rank into Utopic Future, and then go into Utopic Future Dragon. There you go. That's how you get a powerful monster right there. Holy crap, that actually can work pretty easily. So that's actually kind of hilarious that you can do something like that. So overall, don't think it's a bad card, especially depending on the way you play in this. You can either get a 3000 attack beat stick, or you can just get some link material or whatever else, depending on what you can go. Technically, this card, if you have some link monsters already in your graveyard, can get you an Axis Code Talker, a Borosaur Dragon, any other monsters that you really want to go to for link fodder. So that's pretty interesting of something you can do with Kree Babylon. But that is going to be it for the monsters, which means that we're going to be going over the spell card and the last card for this video. And that spell card is 5-star Twilight, a normal spell card, with its effect being you can only activate 1 card with this card's name per turn. With the effect being, if the only monster you control is 1 level 5 monster, tribute it, special summon 1 Kariba, Karibi, Karibu, Karibe, and 1 Kuriboh from your hand, deck, and or graveyard, but they cannot be tributed for a tribute summon. Literally, the way that I said you can use with Babylon, This is just a better way to do that effect. Now, which, let me mention something about the Future Dragon, because I keep forgetting that. Future Dragon is an OCG exclusive card for the time being, so you technically can't do that unless you're playing online and you don't care about TCG rules and you play with the OCG formats. So that would be a combo that you can do for OCG, but not for the TCG, which, if you can think of an Xyz play that you can do that is really good with this method with the Kuriboh brothers, let me know. I can't think of one on the top of my head, but I know you guys might be able to come up with something. I just can't for the time being. But being able to get 5 cards on the field for potential link fodder, that is such a good effect. And especially since you're able to get it from the deck as well, that's what makes it so much better, because all you have to do is, say for example, since we're going to just do what the cards from this set are, Kree Babylon, all you need to do is get a card into your graveyard. So say for example, just use 1 for 1. Use that card, discard a card, you don't really care what it is, and just get a Crevo or get one of the Kuriboh brothers. It doesn't really matter. Summon Kree Babylon since you have more cards in the graveyard than your opponent, because they're not going to really have anything. Get that Kree Babylon into the field, activate it 5-star Twilight, get all the Kuriboh brothers on there, and then you can go into your link plays. Why does this card allow that to happen? Because let's be honest, although you cannot tribute someone with the cards you summon on the field, it doesn't really matter, because you can do plays in the extra deck. Link, Xyz. Technically, you can do it with the fusion as well, because these monsters are dark attributes, and it's an easy way to get out Starving Venom Fusion Dragon, as it requires 2 dark monsters that are not tokens, which obviously they're not tokens, so technically you can do a play like that as well. The fact that this card can just do so much, and even Babylon as well can do the same thing, it's a little bit slower than this card, because this card can just tutor from the deck, while you have to do it from your hand or graveyard with Babylon. It's just insane what you can do with this card and the possibilities with this. But that is going to be it for the Kuriboh cards for this set. My general thoughts on it: again, the possibilities what you can do with this is pretty insane. For the effects of the Kuriboh brothers themselves, I think they're okay effects, to be completely honest. I don't think they're bad effects. I just don't think they're really game warping, to be completely honest. They're just okay effects. I feel like if you're going to play these cards in your deck, it's going to be because you're going to use something like 5-star Twilight or even Babylon as another option as well, to be able to get those monsters for like link fodder or something like that. That's where I feel like these cards are going to be really useful, because you're able to tutor out 5 monsters for one of those types of summoning. So that's where I think there is some pretty interesting potential with these cards. Will it be used? We would have to wait and see, but I do think there is a potential because of the possibilities that you can do with these cards. But that's just my thoughts on it, and with that being said, that is going to be it for this discussion. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you guys' thoughts are on the Kariba brothers getting printed in this upcoming set. Are you excited for these cards? Are you just okay that these cards are coming? Or are you not interested? What do you guys think of the cards themselves? Do you think they're good, okay, or not that good? And as an added bonus, of the 5 Kuriboh brothers, Kuriboh, Kariba, Karibi, Karibu, and Karibe, which Kuriboh is your favorite? We'll love to know your guys' thoughts on that down below. But guys, that is going to be it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time guys, take care and have yourselves a great rest of your day.